First pick.
Should I start now?
Yeah.
First pick. Had to fight for what I got a feeling I deserve it. Now I'm only moving with a purpose. The people showing love, but I ain't joking to the surface. Never had a chance, wasn't known name. All season started working on my post game. Now I seen the readers at the phone when they break them off and send a home. Got a game with no shame. Saying I'm a flop, that's an insult. Chill.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Mike Ash.
Big Country. Back. Big Country's back.
And this is Sports Cartel. Yes, we fuck that up every single time. I don't think you guys. Well, you just did.
I was trying to load a page at the same time.
We do got to break off some breaking news. We were not able to negotiate. He decided to take his talents to South Beach, and went elsewhere. Drew Ash will not be with us full time anymore. He is going to be part-time guest star only, mainly wrestling when we want to have big wrestling takes. Yeah. So with that being said, we have a loaded show tonight, and we have a lot we want to talk about. As you guys know, we weren't able to get here. As you guys know, you'll have to bear with us because next week's show is going to look like we're in the bottom of a dungeon because my house is going to be going into full remodel mode. So if you see some missing walls and some insulation, I'm sorry, but it's going to be better when it's done. And you can thank the guy straight across from me, John Holland. He is the one doing my work. I do want to let you guys know we are going to have up to date every single day progress on my house. So elite construction is what you guys need to get on and go. I'm trying to get him to go live as he's remodeling to sort of push his own promotion. So yeah, anyways, if you guys see what you see, it's going to look like hell. There's going to be no wrestling belt behind us. There's going to be lots of shit in here. So but it's gonna fit it, you know.
And we're gonna broadcast with no shirts on next week.
I did find
we ain't
in Finley.
Why not?
In Finley gas station by Ball Metal.
Mm-hmm.
Them Pacquiao chips are there. And they're $9 a box. So we're gonna make a trip up there. And
we're supposed to have these 2 months ago.
Yeah, I'm going to make a trip up there to get them chips, and we are going to eat these chips live next Tuesday.
We ain't.
Yes, we are.
You got a mouse in your pocket.
We is what's happened. If anybody wants to join us in that, they can. We are going to be there. We're hoping next week we do have a new stream going. We will not be really producing our poor quality. We are going to go through StreamYard, so it's going to be a little different, hopefully.
It's going to be better.
For us.
All around better.
So there's big changes coming for us. There really is big changes coming for Sports Cartel. Like I told you before, if you ain't part of something, you need to be a part of something. And why not join a cartel? So, guys, let's dive into this. So, first off, let's talk about tonight's game. We're really going to knock into that tonight. Tonight we do have the Chargers and the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Herbert versus my homie.
Oh yeah,
Pat Mahomes.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a barn burner. But we're going to start with you, John. What do you think? What do you think the key matchup is tonight?
Quarterback matchup's gonna be huge. You got two of the premier quarterbacks in the league getting ready to go at it. I mean, I think the edge goes to Mahomes, but we'll see. We'll see how good that San Diego.
So my thing is what quality as we can say, who you give that? What's the key? You're saying quarterback. Say something other than quarterback. What do you think is another deciding factor?
I don't think the deciding factor is quarterback. I think it's defenses because both these guys are elite quarterbacks. So it's going to come down who's got the better defense, who makes the most stops. I think that's what it's going to come down to, and I'm going to give the edge to the Chargers on that one.
All right,
so you give the edge.
You give the edge of the Chiefs, and it's very valid that you have quarterback play because I think quarterback play is going to be a very key.
Huge.
I'm telling you. My thing is who plays better, Austin Ekeler or Clyde Hilaire? That's where I think
I hope Clyde Hilaire does because he's my fantasy.
I think that could be a turning point in this game. The running back situation. No one wants to talk about it in this matchup tonight to me. Nobody. And I'm not saying we both know Clyde Hilaire and Austin Ekeler are, to me, very, very similar running backs.
Drew said thanks for the breaking news.
Yeah, I got you, Drew. I told you breaking news is out there, man. Glad you tuned into this. We will be answering questions through TikTok too. So if someone, questions and answers, Goman. If you have questions you want to ask us, we'll cut off what we're doing to answer your guys' questions. So we have quarterback, running back. What is it harder? And I really want to know this because I thought about this all to you and you just got here. What's harder to stop? And this is why, because it's key tonight. And it sort of comes into Keenan Allen's missing. Obviously, he's out with a hamstring. It sort of goes back. It goes back to the weapons that once was. And why I say that is what's harder to stop? Because I feel the Kansas City Chiefs receiving core is harder to stop now than what it was last year with Tyreek Hill.
I agree with that statement because now they don't know who the ball's going to.
Yes. So is it harder?
Hill's there, there's a very good chance he's getting the ball.
So to me, you two answer my question. Is it harder to stop one elite receiver or several good receivers on one team?
That's easy. Several good receivers.
Ask the people who played against the Patriots for 20 years.
Quarterback play pitted.
Obviously, you got to have the quarterback to be able to do that. But
do you think they made the right decision? Week one showed they might have made the right decision.
Spread the ball out to many people, and you're not keyed in on just two key guys, which would be Kelsey and Hill. Yeah, it's going to make it harder because you don't know where it's coming from. And they're all receivers who are capable of catching the ball and doing a good job.
Mahomes said that from the get-go that, they're going to spread this ball around and you don't know who it's going to go to.
They don't.
Does it make Patrick Mahomes even more deadly?
I think so. You give that guy time, boy. I think you put any receiver out there that can catch the ball, he's going to be dangerous.
I don't think it makes him more deadly as much as it just makes the offense in general more deadly.
Well, the offense wouldn't,
so many
the offense goes around
because
of quarterback.
I know.
It wouldn't be there if it wasn't for him.
So many more playmakers. He's going to do exactly what he did last year and the year before. There's just more playmakers now to spread that ball.
I honestly think you could see him eclipse 50 touchdowns. He could have a better season than he had 2 years ago with his 50 piece.
If he continues to do what he did from week one till now, I agree.
He could, but that's what I mean by that's what I'm saying is that I don't think it makes him better as much as it gives him more opportunities to get more stats. But I think I think the receivers all around, collectively, the receiving core is probably the best in football because they're all good.
I think it does make it because you put a mediocre quarterback back here. He's not throwing 5 touchdowns.
That's true.
What I'm saying is he's already done 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. If he throws more, it's just a complimentary off of how good his core has gotten. That's what I mean by it doesn't make him more deadly. It makes the whole offense more deadly as a collective whole is what I'm saying. The Kansas City Chiefs offense.
Because of him. That's the deciding factor.
Yeah, because you take him out. Yeah, but you take him out, them receivers aren't doing it. That offense ain't doing what it's doing.
That's my thing. So, week one, we seen him drop 5 touchdown passes. Put Herbert in week one on that Chiefs team. Does Herbert have 5 touchdown passes? Can Herbert find the receivers that he finds? Like McCole Hardman, Van Scantling. We seen Van Scantling with Rodgers. He played all right. I'm not saying he played bad. There's a reason why the Chiefs went and got him. A lot of Van Scantling was Rodgers. But it looked like Van Scantling was a little more comfortable with Pat Mahomes. Is it because is he that much better?
And they have Schuster too, don't they?
They have Schuster sitting there. He was
is the camaraderie better too? Because we all know Aaron Rodgers is a dick, and he's not very communicative with his people, and Pat is. So maybe he's more comfortable also with the fact they get along. But maybe there's communication going on too.
So answer my question though. Do you think Herbert has that ability to find them receivers like him?
Absolutely, I do. I absolutely think he has that ability to do that. I mean, he threw 5,000 yards just a year ago. I mean, he put up numbers because he can. He's got that ability.
He has that, yes, but he also has Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. He does have better receivers. Now you would throw him into a team where it's like running a bunch of I don't even know who you would compare. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are both better than Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh, absolutely.
They're both better than Van Scantling, McCole Hardman.
They're better than anybody on.
Austin Eckler.
Kelsey,
Austin Eckler, in most people's opinion, is better than Clyde Hilaire. So, I don't know if and I love Herbert. I'm a big Herbert fan, but I don't know if he has that ability to do what Patrick Mahomes does.
Has he ever thrown 5 touchdowns in a game? I don't know.
I'd have to research that. I have no idea if he's ever done it. I would imagine at some point. I mean, he had 35 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
Maybe he had a 5-touchdown game somewhere in there.
I don't know.
I just thought why I bring it up is because a lot of people, and I was one that wasn't. I think you were on board during our fantasy draft. I said Mahomes wasn't going to struggle, and the whole world seemed to think
I agree. That's why I took him in
Mahomes
the
was
draft.
going to, Mahomes was going to struggle because Tyreek Hill was missing. And yet I said, you guys are all underappreciating
His
the
tangibles.
talent.
He has so many tangibles
Yes.
that can make him good. I mean, to keep the play alive. His throwing ability.
Well,
I
did you
mean,
see I believe it was I think it might have been McCole Hartman or Van Scantling in the back of the end zone. I was talking to you about it, and they show the play where Mahomes is sitting there in the pocket. And as you can see, he can see just a tad bit of the glimpse of the receiver going towards the back of the end zone. And he almost sidearms this ball with the person breathing down his throat, 2 defenders out here. Okay. When he releases this ball, you can no longer see the receiver. And it's not a normal motion. It's more of like a little bit of a sidearm. And he floats it up and over and about 5 yards in front of that receiver. Well, they showed the camera from the back, the receiver's view. The receiver couldn't see the damn ball. Like, you couldn't see Mahomes nowhere. And all of a sudden there's just a ball floating and he just reaches out and gets it. It's like I told you, I think it was Sunday night. I've never seen ball placement like this dude ever. And Rodgers is one of the greatest we've ever seen at doing it. Maybe Breeze is right there with him. I will openly say I've never seen it in my entire lifetime. I don't understand how he doesn't, even from a sidearm perspective. It's like pretty much blind. He just threw it and he anticipated, you better be where you're supposed to be because I'm going to put that ball right there to you.
I think Mahomes over the last 4 years has spoiled me. Because what I say that is when I watch him, I'm still wowed by him, but at the same time, I expect that shit to happen. And he's the only one I expect it from.
Dude, he's
the only one I've ever seen do it.
He wows me every single time he touches a fucking football, dude. Like, it's retarded. It's like he never.
He's another level.
He never fails. It seems like, he had some bad games last year. Obviously, we all know
every
that.
quarterback goes through that. And you look back at every beginning of every season. We did it with Brady. Brady had a bad first game. Oh, he's done. He's done. And comes back and just does well. Aaron Rodgers last year, when they got beat by the Saints and they only scored, I think, 3 points in the game, everybody said, "Oh, Rodgers done. He shouldn't have came back." And look what he did last year.
I know. I made a TikTok on that. Everybody overreacted on that.
Yeah, everybody, and it's a lot of I think we do it every year to quarterbacks. Every year, there's a couple quarterbacks we think, "Oh my
what's
God."
it called? Week 1
Overreaction.
Yeah. Week 1 overreaction. Yeah.
And we're gonna get to that here shortly about our week 1's overreactions, but I want to know what you two said. If anybody's watching us, give us comments on what you want to hear.
Well, I want to put this out here since we're talking about Mahomes, we're talking about Herbert, we're talking about the game tonight. I'm gonna give you an interesting stat that I found out today. So that between Mahomes versus the Chargers in his lifetime so far is 5-2.
Oh, sorry. Drew says one question. Does John ever wear sleeves?
Dude, someone said that in the remember on Facebook. She shared our pictures. Brent said that.
At the wedding?
Yeah.
Nah, dude, I never wear sleeves.
I just
bub.
started laughing. Go ahead, Mooney.
Matter of fact, I seen him when he buys it at the store before he walks out.
He
He
never
rips them
that
off.
motherfucker. Yeah,
He
I think
rips
he
them
rips
off.
them off right
Yeah.
before
He
he
does,
walks
and then
in.
puts it-
He has like breakaway
Yep.
sleeves. Remember the
Hey,
breakaway
hey,
Oh,
Drew.
yeah,
pants?
but the pants,
The pants where you just break them. John's
pulls
just
them
like,
off.
Hey, Drew, some of us got real jobs. We got to stay cool.
So Mahomes is 5-2 versus Herbert and the Chiefs or Chargers. Herbert is 2-2. So that means between the matchup head to head between Holmes and Herbert, they're 2-2. Did you know, John, that Herbert's 2 wins against Mahomes are in Arrowhead?
So
He is-
undefeated there.
He's undefeated in Arrowhead. And tonight's game is in Arrowhead. Do you think that plays a factor at all?
Most of the time, it's the home field advantage most
Right.
of the time.
Right.
But that means Mahomes is undefeated in San Diego
Yep.
against Herbert.
He is. He's 2-0 in San Diego.
So,
So does that mean
so,
that
I mean,
Herbert does have ice in his veins or something to where he can walk into Arrowhead and it don't phase him? And
Well,
that crowd
maybe,
don't phase him?
maybe it's more. Every quarterback has a kryptonite. Every quarterback has another quarterback that they struggle with.
Like Manning and Brady.
Maybe, and I'm not saying it's too early to tell. We're going to see tonight. Maybe that's a lot of what it is. Maybe he just goes in, no matter where he is. Because I think they
people
both.
said this could be the next Manning and Brady, and then they also said about Josh Allen and Mahomes could be the next Brady and Manning. back and forth.
Oh, well, we're going to be spoiled for the next 15 years max. Like,
I think Herbert and Mahomes will be the Brady and Manning, and Josh Allen will be like the.
Brett Favre.
Well, I was going to say Philip.
oh,
Rivers,
I think he's. I
or
mean,
maybe
you could.
maybe the Ben Roethlisberger. He'll win one or two, and he'll always be there, but it'll really be between Herbert and Mahomes.
I don't know. If someone would ask me today what quarterback I would take over Herbert and Allen, I would take Allen 100% every time.
Really?
I think Allen's attitude, just like you watch him last year in the playoff game, when Kansas City would go down and score, he'd go, you just give me the ball back. I'll go down and score. And he'd do it. I mean, the dude's confident. The dude's got ability. And did you all see the stiff arm he put on?
Yeah, I'd venture to say.
I'm
I'll
like,
go
that
out
guy's
on
a
a
beast.
I'll go out on a limb already and say he's already better than Brett Favre in his whole entire career.
Who? Allen?
Josh Allen.
What I said, that I wasn't trying to compare it. I'm saying the gunslinger mentality.
No, I'm just
that-
saying that's just the kind of talent I think Josh Allen is. What Josh Allen or Herbert? I'm going to lean Josh Allen just because Josh Allen has already proven he can win the big game, and there's
Well,
no stage too big where
not just that,
Herbert isn't
he's a double
capable
threat.
yet.
Well, and he's a double threat. Allen to me is a double threat. You get that guy's mobile as hell. The guy's quick for his size. Herbert, he's that perfect pocket passer. That's exactly what Herbert is. Perfect pocket. I mean, he's the epitome
Herbert
of a
to me
pocket
is
passer.
Manning. Like he is in the pocket, smart, reads the field, big arm, accurate. That's who he is.
That's just
Yeah,
what I
he's
think.
not a mobile guy.
Mm-mm.
He can run. I mean,
Everybody has the ability.
no,
to run,
he's
but
a
what
little
I
better
mean
runner than what
is-
you give
is
him
going-
credit
is
for.
going
He's not
against
running.
Josh Allen is way different. Josh Allen's way more.
Yeah, but he's
athletic.
probably.
And when he stiff armed that guy at first, I thought that was Mr. Henry out there at first.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen has like that Cam Newton type ability to be able to escape the pocket and make
Yeah.
something
the
happen.
physical ability I'd compare more to
I
Ben
think Herbert-
Roethlisberger.
Yeah, Herbert has
Yeah.
the ability to run like we used to see Russell Wilson run. Not elusive, but he's fast. He's straight line fast more than he is going out there and breaking your damn ankles and making you miss.
Right.
But if you need 10 yards, he can get you them 10 yards and it doesn't look bad. He's a lot more athletic and a lot more mobile than what people want to admit because they're so used to seeing him in the pocket. He doesn't want to leave the pocket.
He just mentioned Roethlisberger, and I know because we were from the same division, watching a lot of games with Roethlisberger early on in his career. Roethlisberger,
up,
I
Dulce?
wouldn't say he's a runner, but he ran. You remember him playing against you guys. He played against Cleveland. Roethlisberger did not have a problem taking, and for a big guy, he could move.
What made him what made Roethlisberger the threat was he could extend a play
Yes,
and he was hard to bring down.
yes,
I mean, that's what made him the threat. And the dude, I mean, he was accurate and could throw the ball, obviously, but
he was.
you get that dude out of the pocket, that's where he became even more scary because he's going to make a play.
He usually did too.
That's right, D.
And
Sleeves
I
suck.
think Herbert has that same ability as Roethlisberger. They're big guys. They are mobile, but they're a pass first mentality.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. So who you guys taking tonight?
Kansas City.
Score.
We ain't doing the score
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Give it out.
Yeah. Get to score.
We want to know who you guys are picking to
We
win.
want to see how far off you are.
35
Jesus.
35 to 24.
It's gonna be a shootout, huh? I'm saying the Chargers 28.
You're a touchdown less than me.
I didn't what? Yeah.
Yeah, you said a shootout. Yeah.
I was just, yeah. 28. Chiefs 24.
I'm saying the Chiefs 35, Chargers 21.
I think Mahomes going to have a
I think
heyday.
Mahomes is ultimately too much for the Chargers. Even though the Chargers do have a revamped defense, they said J.C. Jackson is.
Wow. D's with Mooney, Chargers 28, Chiefs 24.
Oh, nice. I'm saying if JC plays,
'Cause-
maybe it
'cause he
changed a
knows.
little bit. He is questionable. JC Jackson is. If he plays, I could probably see a 28-17 game. I just think the Chiefs win double digits. That's just me. I just think Mahomes is on a mission to prove to the world that it wasn't Tyreek that
I
is the
agree with
reason
that.
he's good.
I think the Chargers are trying to prove we're taking this division over. And it starts by going through Kansas City. In Kansas City.
It's going to be a tough
They got
one
a
to
chip
do.
on their shoulder too.
I mean, I heard a lot of you guys say, and I Mooney, I think you were one of them that said the Chiefs were going to finish third in this division.
No, I did not say that. No, I didn't. I said I figured the Broncos would win the division because of Russell.
But then
Wilson.
you picked the Chargers to finish second.
No, I picked Chiefs to finish second because I said I wouldn't count out Mahomes. And I said, you said, well, so you're going to count the Chargers out? And I said they'll be right there. Could be second, third. I'm not.
Well,
I
how
don't
are you
really
putting
know.
them
But
beating Chiefs if you put Chiefs at number 2? They're going to split it.
who?
The Chiefs and the Chargers.
That's
You
why I said I don't know. I never really said solidly there too. I said they could float between them two, which yes, in turn could mean the Chiefs could end up third, or they could end up second. But I picked the Broncos to win the division.
Well,
They started
we see
out.
what
They,
they
they
did.
started out
Think I'm
real.
wrong.
They started out.
I
Real,
think
which
I'm wrong.
Okay, so now we're gonna go in. I want to go into this overreaction Monday. Okay, it's Thursday, but we didn't get our overreactions in from week 1 of the NFL season, and we're going to start that out with the Denver Broncos. Do you think the Denver Broncos were overhyped?
No, I think the coach fucked them on that one.
I agree with you. I think they're good, and we all know Russ is good. You don't want to put the ball in Russell Wilson's hands on 4th and 5. You want to try a 64-yard field goal, which, by the way, did you know only has a 20% chance of making that fucking kick?
Well, I imagine. I thought it would have been lower than that.
Well,
that's a long ass.
But what I'm saying is, it was bad coaching. That guy,
he's a rookie though too.
I know
You
he
have to
is, but
remember
goddamn,
that.
man, you can't. You got Russell
you're
Wilson
gonna
for
have-
a reason.
I'll
You
tell
don't
you-
put the ball in the kicker's hands.
I'll tell you, Russ didn't look horrible out there. There were some passes I thought that he threw was questionable for him that he normally wouldn't do. I don't think he underperformed. I mean, I think the coach kind of screwed the pooch on. And then at the end, the fourth, when they're driving, they wasted out. I watched Peyton Manning and Eli Manning on their little thing, and Peyton Manning, why aren't you calling a timeout?
oh
why
yeah,
ain't
when
you guys
30
run-
seconds ran
Yeah,
off
he's
the
like,
clock.
There's no urgency. He goes, what are you doing? Like,
So Nathaniel,
And then when they called the timeout, Shannon Sharp said, "Are you kidding me?"
Nathaniel Hackett's also calling the plays, I believe. Correct? He's an
Yes,
offensive
yes.
coordinator coming from Green Bay.
he said he
Yes.
did say, he goes, if he could go back, he would have did things a little different.
Yeah, I did read that he said that he wouldn't have taken that field goal. But you live and you learn in your very first game. I don't think the Denver Broncos are overrated offensively. I think they're extremely overrated defensively. I think they looked at losing Justin Simmons now. He's going to be out for extended amount of
Yeah,
time.
that's
also,
a big loss. That's a big loss.
I
He
think-
said he thought the only reason why that Thackett got the job was they thought they were getting Rodgers with him because there was rumor Rodgers.
I know.
was
I
gonna
remember
go
them
there.
saying something about Rodgers going with his coordinator. I do. I remember that. That didn't happen.
So to me, yes, I think the Denver Broncos. People need to breathe, take a deep breath,
Yeah.
understand
fine.
that it's even Russell's first game with the Denver Broncos, and he played well. I think he had
Yeah, he did.
360 yards and a
Yeah,
couple
he didn't-
touchdowns.
He didn't throw bad.
The receiving core needs to come around a little bit more.
I think he only had one touchdown though.
I think he had 2, or maybe he had 1.
I was one or two. I
Yeah.
know it wasn't, and he had one pick.
I just think that really did fall on the coach that game.
Oh, yeah,
I think that all
absolutely.
fall on the coach. I think the gameplay on the field was good. It just was. He was a rookie. Just a bad coaching in the first game. Got to get that stuff taken care of. I think moving forward they're going to be fine. They
I
got
think-
Russ Wilson for a reason. They're going to be fine.
So we all think Denver Broncos going to be just fine. People just need to, in the words of Aaron Rodgers, just relax. It's going to be okay.
RELA.
So going into that,
You can spell.
I can.
do you think the Green Bay Packers are in trouble?
I don't think that's an overreaction. I think they are. I think they're in trouble.
I don't know.
I
I think
do.
if you look at last year, the very first season, like the very first game of the season, Saints put it on them. Like I said, I think
38-3.
yeah, I think they only scored 3
Yep.
points.
And then they were a playoff first number 1 seed.
Yeah. So
But-
I think with Rodgers back there, you got to remember that. I mean, this is all new receivers pretty much.
Mhm.
Rodgers back there, you can't. I think like another one of the things, just relax, give Rodgers some time. I think you're going to see a bounce back. It may not be this week, but I still think they're a playoff team. I still expect to see them in the playoffs. Rodgers just brings that. I mean,
Rodgers is really, to me, in order for this season to succeed, you're going to have to see a very, very, very dedicated and mentally focused Aaron Rodgers, because he's got some work. Now, granted, Watson, their rookie receiver, missed a bomb. So him missing the
what
bomb,
was
the
final
catch,
score of that game? I can't remember.
That was the first play of the game, a 70-yard pass right through his
he
hands.
drops it. He drops it, which is coming with that. So I think with Rodgers comes them receivers. Like we've always said, Rodgers has made just about every receiver. I think the final was that it was like 20-7 or something like that.
No,
It
they
wa-
didn't, he didn't even throw us. They didn't score a touchdown. I didn't think. Did
Yeah, they scored.
Did they?
Yeah, I'm
yeah, I
pretty
think
sure-
they,
yeah,
did.
they
They did
scored.
score one. I think.
So to me, yeah, I think that's another Aaron Rodgers.
So what I'm gonna say is when I said that was not to say Aaron can't play good. Aaron will. We saw, like I said, against Saints last year, he looked disastrous. People were like, "Oh, he needs to retire." All this, whatever. Comes out this game, looks completely flat. Okay, we've seen that happen. I'm not worried about Aaron Rodgers. I am worried about that receiving core. So what I'm thinking is, for me and myself, looking at that, I'm thinking this may be Aaron Rodgers' toughest season he's ever had in Green Bay. And it goes back to what you're saying. He's going to have to mentally be way better than he's been ever. And he's really going to have to get with them receivers. He's going to have to put more work in than he ever has, I think, and to make this work for them to make a run. And as of now, with the stuff you've been seeing in the news, like he's basically throwing these receivers under the bus. You can't do that. And then that's not going to help their confidence, and it's not going to build any camaraderie between you two.
Well, it could. I don't know. I don't know. Being Aaron Rodgers putting you on blast to a young receiver, that if you play devil's advocate, that might work.
Maybe.
I mean, truthfully, that might work for them. Him being like, these young cats are like, dude, like we can't make him happy. How are we going to be employed? You get what I'm saying? So I'm not saying it's the right thing to do.
But even that guy dropping that pass, the 70-yard bomb, you still ain't winning. You're still losing.
Yeah, because Aaron played bad.
I
mean, there's still that. Yeah, it's not about that.
So to put that loss on that one drop.
No, I'm not.
Well, it was a bit. It's not putting
effort.
a loss on it, but that's a big momentum builder. That's a big confident builder. That him dropping that could have. And he's a rookie receiver. It's you have a chance to literally say, "What are you guys going to do now? We matched you, big play for big play," and could that make Aaron Rodgers so? Damn it, dude! I can't throw to him. Obviously,
I was thinking that as you're talking, does the arrogance of Aaron after that pass and watch him drop it go? Yep, this is what I got to work with.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. He knows. Aaron,
I mean, because that's kind of how he said it in the news after the game. It was basically, this is what I got to work with.
Aaron was a rookie once. Rookies make mistakes. That's a big stage to be on.
Now, interesting you say that, because another thing about that is Aaron, as opposed to some of these new receivers, didn't get thrown in the fire right away because he got to sit behind Brett Favre a couple years and learn. These guys, from day one, you got to come out here and you got to perform. A lot of pressure. Plus, none of these receivers came from Power 5 schools. They came from D2 schools. Nobody's. Small schools that weren't shit.
Well, that's what he's.
And now they're on the main stage.
Well, that's what he's always built.
And it's a lot of pressure.
Where the hell did? Now, I'm not saying it's off the top of my head, but I don't. Where did Van Scantling come from?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't. I really don't.
We know Devontae come out there with Carr. So
yeah.
We know he came from a pretty big school. But where does some of
I'm not saying all of them came from big school. I'm just saying for the most part across the board, what he's got now, there's no big name school came from, no big name receiver, no.
No, I think it's going to take. I think we might see. We don't. I don't think they win that division.
I think that's Minnesota's division,
and they look good too.
I think he's gonna turn it around, and eventually it'll start working. And I would venture to say I'd be super shocked if Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a 1,000-yard receiver out of one of them cats that are running around out there, whether it be Sammy Watkins or that Christian Watson. I think I said his name properly, or I just think. Maybe even Randall Cobb. There are people out there that I think he's going to start relying on.
It's just he's got a. I don't think he played a snap in preseason.
He didn't at all.
No, and that's the thing is what we've seen most of the teams that didn't play their quarterbacks or their starters, they fucking struggled. So you're going to say Aaron Rodgers relax.
I'm going to say it's an overreaction to say that Aaron's done, which is what a lot of them are saying. I'm not saying it's an overreaction when they're saying they're going to struggle and it's going to be as tough as season. I don't think that's an overreaction. So I am going to say that it's an overreaction if you're saying Aaron's done and shit's Green Bay. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I agree. I can agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's an overreaction. I think give him time and
So on to the next. We all know Patrick Mahomes lost Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill joined the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins went out on Sunday and looked good offensively. Tua looked like he was finding open receivers and was allowing what we had talked about all off season long was, can Tua find these guys and let them work? And if we go look at just week 1, Tua did exactly what he was supposed to do. Get the ball in Tyreek and Jalen Waddle's hands and let them go do what they do best, and that's make plays and create after the catch.
If he can continue to do that all year, boy, they're going to be tough. But it's consistency with him. I'd be curious to see. I'm not going to say that.
So what I'm saying with this, are they a playoff team? Do I need to relax, or are they a playoff team?
I would say pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, I would say let's see him be more consistent before we start jumping into that.
I want to see 4 or 5 consistent games out of him before
that's
I go
what I'd
say.
like to see. And I don't look at Tua as, like we look at Herbert on Mahomes and them. I look at Tua. He's not a game manager. He's a little above that, but he's not going to win the game on all his arms.
I am going to take that back, because last year before they brought Hill in, they went 10-7 because they were throwing a fit, because that's why they fired
Brian
Flores. I will take that back. I can say with the talent they have, there's potential they can go to the playoffs.
I'm saying it now. I think they're a playoff team. They got one of the best defenses in football, and Tua finally has legitimate weapons to play with. And I'm not saying Tua's going to be a great quarterback, because that's not what I think. But I'm saying he's more than capable of taking these receivers to where they're supposed to be. He understands the game of football. Yes, he doesn't have a great arm. He doesn't have a great deep ball, I should say. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. But he's
got abilities.
But that's why I think Tyreek Hill and what Jalen Waddle fit so well with him, is because they don't have to be a deep threat. You can literally give them a 7-yard pass and watch them work. Well, I mean, what did we see Waddle do? He had like a 47-yard TD reception. And I will go out and say, everybody can doubt me now or shit on me, Jalen Waddle has the best end zone celebration in football. Anytime I see him doing the waddle, I just laugh and I stand up. I'm a Dallas fan. I stand up and start waddling around the house, bro. I'm not even bullshitting with you guys. So to me, I think the Dolphins will compete for that AFC East title.
So. I think they have a chance. D doesn't. He said not playoffs. He wants to see him play teams like Bills, Chiefs, and Ravens.
The thing that does bother me about Miami, how good is their running game? Because they're going to need it. And it didn't look that great against the Patriots. It really didn't.
I'm just doing a waddle, man. I'm over here.
Someone check him into St. Rita's.
It's like the best. It's like the best.
How? I mean, funny, like I'm a clown. I amuse you. I make you laugh.
Oh, who's that? Is that Pesci? Is that Joe Pesci? We just had Joe Pesci in our ears.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny, like I'm a clown. I amuse you. I make you laugh.
Anyway, so what are you saying? Playoff team or not?
I'm saying I got to see more. I need to see the run game. That's what I'm worried about with Miami. I need to see the run, because they're gonna need it. So I want to see more out of the run game, because it didn't look that good against Patriots.
What do you got?
I think if they do enough, the running backs do it just enough with the receiving core they have. I think they'll be
the biggest rusher they had was 25 yards.
That's more than the Cowboys had.
Let's overreact to the Cowboys now.
No, we got one more. We got one more before we get to there, and we
Okay.
got that. We got the elephant in the room. Okay, and I don't know if you guys are going to agree with what he has to say, but I want to know, John. Are we going to? Is the world overreacting, or should they overreact with how Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals looked this past Sunday?
No.
That was fast.
I knew he was going to say that anyway.
This is my reasoning why.
Okay, give it to us. That's
Give
what I
me
wanted to
your
hear
reason.
anyway.
You have 5 turnovers in a game, and you can come back and take it to overtime. That's impressive.
Luckily, they were playing the Steelers with no quarterback. But go ahead.
But they still kept them in check.
They did.
Coming from the guy whose team only scored 3 points.
Hey, man, come on now. We'll get to that in a minute, all right?
But in the second half, we started seeing a glimpse of what Burrow was before. The first half, he was shit. And I think the biggest thing was not playing him in the preseason. They should have played him, and they didn't.
At least a couple series.
Yeah, a couple series. He did not look like himself in the pocket, didn't look comfortable all game. And this is not taking anything away from Pittsburgh's defensive front. Their defense was on fire with, Micah Fitzpatrick. You got Watt. You got Hayward. I mean, they were in his face all day long from the get-go.
Yeah, that Bengals line looked like it still needs some more
Oh,
work.
it looked worse
Well,
than it was
I-
last
Yeah,
year.
Yeah,
it
well,
looked bad.
what I told you
looked
though,
bad.
when it comes to Lyle Collins, I told you
He
2 months
struggled
ago,
with
it's
Watt.
he is a it's the reason why the Cowboys let him walk, because a premier pass rusher gives him fits, dude.
And that's exactly what happened. And like I said, I know you had put in the chat. I don't know if it was to get me riled up or not. You put the whole blame on Burrow for the
If
loss.
he said any kind of shot at you, it was to get you riled up.
No. I do put that blame on Joe
I
Burrow
don't
because
put-
overtime he played like shit again.
I don't feel
He threw a pick and fumbled. When you aren't supposed to fumble on your
He
side,
didn't throw a pick in the overtime. He did fumble
yeah,
in the overtime.
with
but
what 2 minutes to go and took him out of field goal range, which ultimately cost him again.
Well, it don't matter. They weren't going for a field goal because we didn't have our long snap. That's what killed us. Not having our long snapper. We couldn't kick a field goal for our fucking life.
Well, that shank by McPherson was totally McPherson's fault. That
No,
was
if
horrible.
you watch they had the laces out.
It doesn't matter.
felt
That's
rushed.
that's
hold on a
like-
second. Hold on a second.
that
No.
lay-
I'm not meaning to cut you off. When we watched it, we were watching the game when it happened, and I said, okay, so he's watching the game.
I watched the game.
He shanks the kick, and I say out loud because on the TV they're like, "Oh, the laces were facing him." I said, "I need to know what is the big deal with the laces?" Because I've always
if you watch any kicker, any placeholder, they spill.
I know.
They
I
do.
know
They
I
do.
know they do. So
They do.
and I've
But the
always seen it,
laces
but I
have
wanted
the
to know.
laces have nothing to do with accuracy. It's
We looked
purely
it up. We
distance.
looked it
That's
up.
it.
We did.
All
It's all
the
about
laces
power.
out mean is power. It's your
Yep, it's
distance
just
in it. It has
power.
nothing to do with
But
How
him-
does
left or
right.
laces
right.
affect power?
Because when they kick the ball, if you kick on the laces, it takes compression away from your
the ball.
foot to the ball. So you lose. It's
That's
not a
why
lot
they
of
turned
yards.
it
They
around for the
said
flat
they
side.
said most great kickers will tell you it's maybe a yard or two is all you're going to lose. So really, the only time laces matter is if you're kicking a long distance kick. Because when you kick the ball, the laces stop you from getting full compression of the ball. Because obviously the ball doesn't
but it
go in
doesn't
because of the
stop
laces.
going left or right.
They said it might
it
change it just a slight bit left to right.
I would think it would because if you hit that lace just wrong, if the lace is kind of off to the side and you kick it, it's going to hit the edge. I figured it'd go off your foot differently. Is what I
Even
thought.
That's what I
even
wanted
if
to know.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't
didn't know either. But even if that's the case, like you're saying, it would go right.
Well,
it wouldn't
it depends what
Well,
side
the
of
laces,
that.
the laces were here when they
I
spun the
didn't pay
ball. It
atten-
stayed to
I
the
didn't pay
right.
He
attention.
pulled that goddamn thing like he was trying to kick it in Cleveland Brown Stadium.
Well,
And I
next
think
door.
a lot of it could have been Russian because his long snapper stuff.
I think the long
Yes.
that had an issue, and then because Burrow got him in position to win it, but he took him down the field. 2 seconds left, scored a touchdown. All they had to do was kick the extra point, win the fucking game.
And then McPherson got Ray Finkled.
And the snap.
No,
went,
it was blocked.
The snap went high. He
Yeah,
brought it
the
down,
first one
so
was blocked.
They didn't have enough time. So I feel like I don't put
What's
the
up,
blame.
Jaden?
I don't put the blame all on Burrow. I
Well,
put the blame. There's a couple things I put the
Remember,
blame
with once you guys couldn't convert, then the Steelers go down there. Then Boswell puts the
He
Southern
shanks
Herd
it.
round over to
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
he
couldn't
mean,
hit the
The
upright.
thing is, you don't want to blame Burrow, and I don't know why.
no, it's not. I didn't say I didn't want to blame
he
Burrow.
had 4 interceptions and 2 fumbles.
I said there's everything. I blame a couple different things. The reason why I don't put the blame all on Burrow because he did take him back down the field. He did get him in position to win the game.
But the
snapper,
defense
not our
played
fault.
great to keep him in
Oh
that.
yeah,
though.
the defense
Yes.
did, and I'm not taking that from him. But all I'm
I feel
saying
like they wouldn't
is-
have been in that position had he not had 6
Yeah, had he not
turnovers.
had 6
what
turnovers.
I-
That's what I'm
thinking.
thinking.
Yeah, they
That's
would.
why
You're
that's-
right. You're
yeah.
right. But I'm saying that I'm not going to put that whole loss. Offensive line played horrible.
Oh, absolutely
fucking
horrible.
Yeah, yeah.
And what
You
they
can
sack him
have-
7 times or
Yeah,
something
7
stupid?
times he got
I think
hit.
he got hit
and
10
there-
or 12 times.
And there was
something like
times
that.
he didn't. No sooner he hiked the ball, he was in his face.
Yeah.
So that's hard to play under pressure. And I think what he was doing is trying to force some passes. And if you notice, every pass that was almost intercepted was to either Boyd or Higgins. None of them was ever to Chase. He did not throw one interception to Chase. If you actually go back and watch, they were either to Boyd or Higgins. And then when Higgins got taken out, he was really fucked. I mean, that was a big
And
target.
is he missing Sunday? Because I don't know if he was cleared of concussion.
I
or
haven't
not.
I haven't heard if he is or not, but and then Boyd there got taken out there
But he came back.
Yeah,
he
he ended up
played
coming
over.
So
back
my
in.
question is, do you think you guys are in trouble, especially after watching that offensive line play?
No, I'm not going to overreact with it. I'm not going to be like, oh, our season's fucked because we watched what our line was last year, and collectively that line can't get any worse than what it was last year.
Well, it did week 1.
Well, week 1 though, there was 2
gonna
premier
say.
defensive linemen there. You know,
I mean, you're going to face Cleveland, where you're going to have 2 one premier defensive end.
But I don't
and
know
then
how
one
much
really
you're-
damn
I don't
good
know how much.
defensive end.
I don't know. People can correct me or tell me. I don't know how much that offensive line played in the preseason either. because they were new.
I don't think Lyle Collins played.
I don't know if they even maybe it's communication. Maybe it's. I'm just gonna tell you from what being a Dallas fan, seeing Lyle Collins run the ball that way.
I was
because he's not a great pass blocker to me.
I was reading an article and they said after the game, Burrow went in and said,
Sup, Jaden?
He went in and sat at the his locker. He said he still had his pads on set there, didn't do nothing, just stared. He got up long enough, went and had his presser, came back, and they said 45 minutes after everybody still left, he was still sitting in his locker
and that
room.
Burrow was.
Yeah,
I got something to tell you guys on Micah Parsons too. So I'm saying I'm not overreacting. Even being a Dallas fan, I'm not intimidated by you guys going into Sunday. I'm really not. But I'm not overreacting on the Bengals. I think the line will come back. I'm not saying Lyle Collins is a bad right tackle. He's better than average. But I think Joe Burrow's not going to have that bad of a game anymore.
I think that was, and we go back every quarterback. Peyton Manning threw 4 picks in a game before. Tom Brady threw 5 against Miami there about 7 or 8 years ago when he was, it happens. Yeah. It happens.
It does. You just hope he can build and come back.
Yeah, you hope
losing Higgins is, if he's out an extended amount of time, because I don't know how we all don't know how a person reacts from a concussion. Some people take a month to finally get cleared of concussion symptoms. Others are good by Monday or Tuesday. So I have not heard anything on him. So I would imagine maybe he's doing all right because they would have probably said that he was ruled out. I think they have to have their roster in by Thursdays, don't they? I think it's by Thursday you have to. Wednesday or Thursday, whatever it is.
All I'm going to say is if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm not feeling really good about my performance after having 5 turnovers and barely winning.
Well, they knew offensively. Pittsburgh knew offensively they probably weren't going to be. They were going to.
Trubisky didn't play bad though.
I think Tomlin's going into this season thinking the defense is going to carry them to victories. I think that's literally how, in my opinion, how they're going to do that. Well, now losing T.J. Watt for whatever it's going to be, 4 to 6 to 8 weeks.
6 weeks or possibly the season.
No, they changed that because he doesn't have a total. Yeah,
I was making a joke of that.
They said they put him on injury reserve, so he's out for 6 weeks.
Yeah. So I think Trubisky showed Tomlin, I can manage this. You can rely on me to win. You can rely on me to win. And we've seen that in Chicago in his rookie year. Trubisky is a good quarterback. I think he got shit on. And I think we're going to see a resurgence of Trubisky coming. I think this is just another building block.
I don't know if I go that far. I don't know if I go that far.
I think he looked like Trubisky's always looked. He's a mobile quarterback that is decently accurate and isn't going to really cost you any games, but I don't think he's ever going to be great for you.
And they knocked Burrow, but he still threw for over 300 yards, 338.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Glad you brought that up. I will tell you why the Cincinnati Bengals cost themselves a game. Once again, your quarterback had over 50 attempts. You guys can go look at the stats all you want. 50 attempts by a quarterback in a team equals losses.
When you got Joe Mixon
more often than not, they lose.
Well, I think the reason why they did that because they were playing from behind the whole game.
But they weren't. But they were never getting killed. That's the thing.
No.
We're going to get to that with the Dallas remark. But that's the thing is they had a game plan to throw the ball 50 times. They were going in there wanting to try to pick apart that defense because of their defensive front.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. You're going to have better luck passing against Pittsburgh than you are rushing because that defensive front of Pittsburgh is still mean. It is still mean.
It's good now, but 50 attempts don't equal wins. More often than not, that team loses if they have 50 attempts.
I agree. We all know great defensive fronts that whatever. It's hard to run on them. But if you can manage to keep pounding the ball and just get first downs and keep driving that ball, eventually they get tired. I think you guys have the backfield to be able to do that and open up Burrow a little more. But because Mixon showed last year, if I'm healthy, dude's top 10, maybe top 5 back in the league. He's a beast.
Overreaction.
I didn't say he is. I said
maybe.
And I was saying maybe for people who might put him there. I do think he is a top 10 back when he's healthy.
He's probably a top. I'd argue you could never say top 5.
You guys have a beast of a guy back there. And you could, I don't know why all this pressure is, no, we're going to put the whole game on Burrow. What, you got a guy back there that could take that pressure off.
That's where I'm hoping. Now listen, because we're going to move right into my overreaction Thursday on the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. Now, we're all going to agree that it's not. I don't think anybody should be overacting on the Cincinnati Bengals. They're healthy. They're
Yeah.
good. They're
I'd
going to
be
get
worried
better.
about that line, though.
Yeah, I'd be
worried about that
You could
line.
possibly worry about the line and say at this point, yes.
I don't
maybe
think
the
it's
line.
any worse
Right.
than what it was last year.
So going in to Dallas now, I want to know: are the Cowboys dead? Are they dead in the water?
Pick me. Pick me.
Because why I'm going to
Pick
say
me.
this is because when we were struggling, they were still dropping Dak back to throw the ball for no apparent reason. And look what happened. Dak Prescott is sitting on the sidelines for, well, Jerry says 4 weeks. The doctor says 6 weeks minimum. So I'm going to say he's probably out at least 6 to 8 weeks.
And it's the same situation that the Bengals were in, where you're running the ball and Zeke's averaging 5 yards a carry, and Dak, they keep dropping Dak back to pass the ball. They can't complete a pass. He's getting rushed. Dak doesn't look good. And Zeke's back here going, just give me the fucking ball. I got this. And we're not out of the game. We're not getting killed. You guys were down by only, what, 8
It was
points at one
12 It
point?
was 12-3 when they pretty much gave up on Zeke Elliott.
Gave up. But no, for 2 straight series, Mike McCarthy, and the genius coach that he is, decides, hey, I'm going to take the legitimate top 3 back in the whole league and put him on the fucking sidelines because Tony Pollard's going to get us out of this. So there's 2 series back-to-back where they ran the
I
ball.
wouldn't say top 3.
2 series in a row where they ran the ball the most in that game in 2 back-to-back series. Tony Pollard was running it. Now, does that make any sense to anybody out there at all in the football world? No.
If someone says, again, I'm going to put this out there. Someone says Tony Pollard is a legitimate premier back in the NFL, I'm rightly going to come to your house. I'm going to punch you in the face. I'm going to drive to where, put your addresses in our live. I'm driving to your house if that's how you feel. Tony Pollard once again has proved me correct, and I've said it for the last 3 years. He's not a premier back in the league. He's a nice change of back. I literally call him, he's a little bit better version of Felix Jones. That's all he is to me, is he's Felix Jones. That's it. He's not a guy that's ever going to be that dude, that guy you can rely on. And once again, Kellen Moore has proved me right. People have shit on me throughout my TikTok views. They put him in there to block. Guess what? He's the guy who gave up the most sacks. Tony Pollard gave up the most sacks in that game because he can't block a soul.
D said Pollard is the number 1 back.
D, give me your address. I'm on
He
the
goes,
way.
"I'll buy-"
You thought you were going to punch Mooney in the face? I'm coming to punch you in the face.
He goes, I'll buy you a beer when you get here.
I'm saying I'm not overreacting on the Dallas Cowboys losing Dak. I think they have the run game. They have the defense that should keep them floating. I'm not saying they're going to win a bunch of games.
Cooper looked horrible.
Who, Cooper Rush? No,
Yeah.
he went into Minnesota last year with a healthy Minnesota team, a pretty decent defense, and he beat them, and he had 40, I think he had right around 40 attempts.
That's what I mean. I
And he had the game-winning drive.
And when I watched him play the other night when he came in to fill in for Dak, I didn't think he looked horrible. I thought he made some good passes.
They have to
You
run.
know.
If the Dallas Cowboys don't run, fire Kellen Moore after week 2. I really think someone should go over and kick Mike McCarthy in the nuts too. Like someone like Jerry
aggressive.
Jones. I sometimes wish Jerry Jones would just sit up and have an epiphany and just go, huh.
He's like,
I think I should fire Mike McCarthy today. Like seriously, just get rid of him. I tell you, and I will say this out loud and I'll burn it in everybody's head. Mike McCarthy is the most overrated head coach of all time. That's more overrated than Barry Switzer and Jimmy Johnson.
I'm not touching that one.
The most overrated head coach ever.
That's Bill Belichick. No, I'm kidding.
Ever. Ever. Mooney, what do you got?
That's a good take. Let's see here. I think Dallas is in trouble, and I'm gonna tell you why. And it's not so much that you're gonna have to rely on Cooper Rush for a couple weeks. You say he went into Minnesota last week, he won the game, so you feel he's capable, right? Or last year, so you think he's capable of coming in and managing till Prescott gets back. I'm worried. You might tell me I'm being whatever, but I don't like in the last 3 years Prescott's looking like he's becoming an injury prone guy. That's not good for you. But 2, you say I'm not worried because we got the run game and everything. But Mike McCarthy has not proven to me he's a good game adjuster either. So when you should run the ball, and especially in the game that just happened, he didn't. Now your game plan going forward should be more Zeke. And the fact that I saw Tony Pollard take the blunt of the carries is a bad sign.
Well, he only had 6 carries.
I mean, in those 2 series, what I'm talking
Yeah,
about, those 2
right.
series where he ran
when
the
it
ball the
mattered
most,
most, yeah.
that's alarming to me. Mike McCarthy is basically a poor man's Jason Garrett. You said it on Sunday. I actually agree with you. I think Jason Garrett's a better coach than Mike McCarthy. I think he was a bad babysitter in Green Bay. They won a Super Bowl because of Aaron Rodgers and his magic, and they had a great team. It didn't have a fucking thing to do with Mike McCarthy. Because after that Super Bowl, Green Bay didn't do shit. Yeah, they went to playoffs a couple times, whatever. Mike McCarthy comes to Dallas. What did he carry from Green Bay to Dallas?
Penalties.
Penalty flag. That's what he carried. And other than that, I've not seen
He might have
shit.
one in his pocket.
He woke up this morning, they threw a penalty flag. Let me see a big screen.
Every time penalty happened, that
See that
motherfucker
big screen.
stared at the big screen, dude. So I did.
So I did.
Penalty happened.
You got
couldn't
who's the right tackle?
Terrence Steele.
Terrence Steele. They have a play. I think he got like an 8-yard gain, 7-yard gain. Holding, coming back. Terrence Steele. Okay. The next fucking play.
False start.
False start. Terrence Steele. 3 plays later, they got a first down. False start. No, yeah, they had a first down. They're going to do the first down. False start. Terrence Steele. He had 3 penalties
On one drive.
on one drive.
But that's the
In a
only
ma-
three.
in a
That was the
matter-
only 3 penalties he had.
In
all
a
game.
matter of a minute.
But
and a
it's
half.
too many penalties for
It's
your
too many.
offensive lineman. Yeah.
Too many. Because let's not count the penalties from the other side of the line that was going on there.
Well, no, I
So-
thought Tyler Smith played awesome.
So I'm not talking left tackle. I said side of the line.
Yeah.
Other than Terrence Steele, because that whole line, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with them. I don't know why they can't get on the same page.
Well, they're all brand new. I mean, you got a rookie left tackle, you got a rookie left guard.
And the left tackle, you're right. He played. I
Yeah,
thought he played
Tyler
good.
Smith played awesome. I
I
don't even
did.
think he allowed a sack. He might have allowed a couple pressures, but that's going to happen. I'm not even. And then that
center?
no, that's Biotish.
Oh,
Biotish
Biotish.
was actually graded in the top 5 of offensive linemen after week 1. Shockingly enough, as bad as the Cowboys played, they're all
Cincinnati's line, dead last.
yeah, they're as bad as they played offensively. There were players on the offensive line that graded well. Now I will tell people, Jason Peters is coming. There's rumors that possibly they could bench Terrence Steele and he plays right tackle.
I was about to suggest that because the left tackle guy seems.
I'm not
solid.
going to give up. I'm not going to overreact on Terrence Steele either. 2 years ago, when we lost Lyle Collins to the hip flexor where he broke his hip in that wreck, Terrence Steele played awesome. That's the reason he's even on the team. So he played well for us. So one game, I'm not going to overreact on. I just think the coaching staff, if the coaching staff doesn't adjust, like you said, they don't understand that Dak Prescott is going to be out. So playing Cooper Rush like he's Dak Prescott is a recipe for disaster. And we could be looking at a 3rd string quarterback because if you drop Cooper Rush back a million times, he probably going to be sitting on the bench too, beat up. You know what I'm saying? So Zeke's averaging 5 yards a carry. The defense is, I don't care what anybody says. Y'all can
Defense
shit
looked
on the
great.
defense all you want if you want to,
Defense
but
looked great.
they held that offense in check. And people
They
say,
did.
well, Leonard Fournette had 100 yards rushing. Well, you have to pick your poison with the Bucks.
You do.
You either want, and more often than not, I'm going to go with Dan Quinn when he says, well, we're going to try to limit Tom Brady.
You guys were in
You know
that
what I mean?
game all the way up to the clock's at 0. You guys were in that game. And that's because of your defense.
So what
That's
do you,
why.
so you're saying they're in trouble because
Because McCarthy's a shit coach. And I don't
Okay.
feel he's going to
Okay.
adjust. And you got the guy back there who could probably carry you to victories. And you're choosing not to.
John,
I think so. I don't
What-
think you overreact. No.
you say it's week 1, no overreaction. I can agree.
Week
with you on
one,
that
give
too.
it time, and this is a case for a lot of these games that happened this week that there were some losses that people thought was going to win, didn't happen. I don't think you overreact. It's week 1. Give them time.
I
Give
think-
them.
I think also I want to throw out there the penalties. It didn't change from last year to this year.
No, it hasn't.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I want this cut. We're going to put this on TikTok. I'm going to go ahead and say this for you, for every Dallas fan out there. We need to start a petition. You need to fire Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I said
You
that
need
too.
to get him
Yeah.
out of Dallas because that to me is your problem. You got talent, you got a defense, you got a quarterback, you got a running back, you've got receivers. It's coaching on the sideline that's really hindering you guys right now.
Well, I think injuries to the receiving core played a factor in Dak's ability to look good. I mean,
You
I think
need
they
discipline
said
in there. You need a leader.
No, I'm saying that's a huge problem. But when I was reading on there, they said that the 3 Dallas receivers, that's including CD Lamb, were towards the bottom out of I think they did 100 receivers in yards of separation from
He
the
said
corner.
Sean Payton will be the next coach for the Dallas
I
Cowboys.
could see it. I could really
I
see
wouldn't
it.
have
But
a problem with that.
my personal opinion, I don't want another old fucking coach. Give us one of these young cats with a better mind.
Sean Payton can't for at least 2 years unless New Orleans decides
Yeah.
to release him.
I'm saying go get a bright young coach. If you have to go steal someone from the college ranks, bring them up. And I want young. I'm saying 35, 40-year-old coach.
What is it, Daniels down there in Miami?
Yeah. That's what I want because they know. And I'm not saying great older coaches don't. I'm not saying they can't do it. I just like the young mind, young players, young team, bring in a young guy.
I like where you're going. I like how you think. I agree with you. There's a problem. We've talked about this. You get a guy coming in there with his own ideas and his own philosophies and wants to do things his way, and he wants to be out of the norm. He's going to butt heads with one man and one man only, and that's Jerry Jones. If you're not going to do it Jerry's way, you're going to be out. And we talked about it. It's been proven.
But the thing is with Jerry, though, and I agree to that to a point. The thing is with Jerry over the last few years, Jerry's more about his podcast. At this point, I think all Jerry cares about is winning. And it was really hard going. And I'm telling you what, I don't care what any Dallas fan or sportscaster or anybody says. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones sat down and had a conversation about firing Mike McCarthy this offseason. But they looked at it as he was 12-5. Can we get better than that by bringing in another coach? All likelihood, probably not, because you're starting a whole new coaching staff, a whole new system. Players are going to have to learn it. So I think they ultimately said, "Hey."
That goes back to San Diego when they were every year. I was at North Turner, I believe.
Well, and Marty
Marty
Schottenheimer,
Schottenheimer,
yeah.
Every year he was going 11-5, 12-4 every year. Guaranteed 11, 12, 13 wins from this guy, but couldn't win in the playoffs. At what point do you say, okay, I'm tired of having 5-6 seasons of 12, 13 wins. I want to go to the Super Bowl.
I mean, that should be the goal.
But at what point do you do that? Okay, now, you take a chance of going from 12 to 13 wins, going to hire a new coach, and now you're dropping to the bottom of the barrel.
Well, that's a chance to take.
What chance? And then you don't know if that coach is even going to get you back to 11 or 12 wins.
I think that's why Green Bay did hang on to Mike every year, because they were making the playoffs all the time. But I feel like Mike McCarthy was covered up by Aaron Rodgers. Well, now Dak is not Aaron Rodgers.
Not even close.
So he's getting exposed because really your coaching needs to matter here, and your leadership is not good.
That's got to be the most asinine thing you could say. He goes, I'd like to have a petition to fire Bill Belichick.
What up? D, you've been drinking. Yeah, so there is one thing I want to bring up. You guys are saying, I say don't overreact. You say don't overreact. You said coaching sucks and you probably should overreact.
Yes.
I
do.
There was a thing I seen. Now, everybody knows I am a firm believer that Micah Parsons is the next great defender.
Next Lawrence Taylor.
The next, and I'm saying, when I say great, I'm putting him up there. I think he has the ability to be a Ray Lewis type leader. That's what I feel out of him. So I read an article today. Now, most people don't know, every Tuesday, Micah Parsons is supposed to be on the show Undisputed every single Tuesday.
He's supposed to be on our show, but he never responds.
And yeah, he never responded to us.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be on Undisputed every single Tuesday. Well, this past Tuesday, as in 2 days ago, he no-showed. He didn't text Skip Bayless back. He didn't text Shannon Sharp back. He didn't even tell anybody on FS1. He fucking no-showed them, dude. And he come out today when they did his little thing after the practices, and they asked him. Finally, someone was able to reach out to him and got to him. And they said, "Why did you no-show FS1? Like, that's a big deal." He said, "Well, I felt it was better to be here. We just got our bleep it out. I'm not going to. We just got our fucking asses whipped. Or we lost our star quarterback. What am I going to do for this team on Undisputed? I am the leader of this team, and I need to be a bigger leader than what I already am. There was no business for me being on Undisputed. I might get back when I can, but until then, I'm not going back." Me? I got goosebumps. I haven't seen a leader like that in Dallas since probably Michael Irving. Truth be told, because I don't think anybody else had that caliber of that kind of leadership. You know, DeMarcus Ware might have had it. Tony Romo might have had it, but not to that. I'm not saying they're bad leaders, but the way he is, when you're pretty much saying, if we lose, I don't want to do nothing else but figure out why the fuck we lost, and we need to correct why we lost. And I'm not doing anything but staying here with my team. Goes back to what you said with Joe Burrow. That's what I wanted to bring up earlier, is Burrow didn't want to leave either. He was fucking pissed off. There's just players that are built with that in them.
There was the guy that the reporter said, he goes, I feel sorry for the team they play next. He goes, because if he's going to go put in the hard work and be that,
you're facing a team who's feeling the
same
same way.
way.
As
The
them.
same way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same
And
way.
and your guys' line sucks, and you got an angry
And you got
Micah
Micah
Parsons.
Parsons pissed off, and especially after what happened to him with Leonard Fournette.
Now, that's what I want to bring
But
up.
I want to touch
do
on. I
have
want to touch on
something-
that for a second. Go ahead.
I do have something to say, to go back to the Cincinnati game for a minute. Do you think Zach Taylor fucked up by not throwing the challenge flag when Jamar Chase clearly was in the end zone and they called him at the 1 and he clearly crossed the line? No one even attempted to challenge that touchdown.
Now, I don't know if that's Zach Taylor or maybe your guys' people, because everybody puts people in the booth to look at that wire
Either
down
way,
to him.
someone messed
Someone
up.
screwed up, whether it be Zach Taylor or not. The
Whoever.
Cincinnati Bengals screwed that up, yes,
Yeah,
because
they-
they don't
they-
lose the game
No, they don't
if
lose
that's
that game
challenged.
because they go down and score again
Yep.
the next drive. They screwed it completely up. So it's like, man, what? I mean,
Well, that's just the tail of the tape that day. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that is
I didn't know
what
if you had
happened.
seen that.
Yeah,
I
I've
just
seen
wanted
it.
to-
Basically, the
input.
ball just wasn't bouncing your guys' way that day
Yeah.
at all.
I after I watched the game, I took my ball and went home.
Yeah, Micah
Dallas game or
Parsons.
Cincinnati game?
No, Dallas game.
He going to that leadership part of what we've been talking about with Lax and Dallas on the coaching staff. We said it ourselves. You don't see the defense having penalties. And it's because you have vocal leaders like that on the defensive side of Micah Parsons. I'm sure DeMarcus Lawrence don't have a problem speaking up if had to. He doesn't do it in the news, but Micah don't have a problem. Micah basically said this, like he said, this is my team. So he just put the whole goddamn thing on his back and said, if we don't play well as a defense, it's on me, and I'll make sure we correct that. That's what you need on the offensive side of football that you don't have. And Dak, Zeke, CeeDee.
Well,
None of them.
Zeke come out. Zeke was also another person who come out and pretty much shit on the coaching staff. Pretty much said, hey, you guys took me out of the game. I didn't take myself out of the game.
Well,
I was running all over them. People need to feed me. There's a reason he was saying there's a reason they say feed Zeke, feed me. He wanted the fucking ball and they didn't want to give it to him.
He put that on him as far as saying, give me the ball and I'm gonna do what I do. I'm saying a leadership on it to come out like Micah said. He didn't say I. He kept saying we. We played like shit. We got our asses kicked. He's taking it as a whole unit. Zeke came out and said, me, feed me. And I'm not cutting.
I would want that out of my.
Cutting. What I'm saying is somebody on offense, you don't have to do it in the news either. Even in the locker room, you got to be coming after them saying, what the fuck are we doing? We need to play better.
How do we know they're not, though?
I don't know. I don't know. But for him to call out the coaching staff too, like, if you had a leader on the sideline, he might not be saying shit like that.
Well, this is what I'm getting at, because I think we've touched on this, and I think you've made a comment about it. I'm pretty sure. One thing that frustrates me with Dak, you've watched a lot more Dallas games, obviously, than I have, but the games I have,
He only watches like 4 a year.
That's a lie.
for
Okay.
a week if they had it.
Yeah.
Anyway, one thing that does frustrate me with Dak, in the games I've seen, is when he does throw a pick or they do have to punt or something. I don't see him going back and being a leader at the line. I see him go back and sit on the bench and watch.
They grab them fucking tablets, dude. That's what they instantly go over and grab the
I
fucking
want to
tablet.
see the
They're good,
leader.
guys.
You
You
see
did good.
Patrick Mahomes, you see it, Josh Allen. They're up there and they're talking to the team. They're getting his team motivated.
See
They're
Tom
not-
Brady when he throws an interception?
He goes back and fixes it.
Hmm.
Where Dak, I don't see that. And I feel like Dallas could be an even better team if Dak would become that leader. I think he's lacking that.
I agree with you. I
You know,
agree that
and like
offense
I
would be
said,
different if
I-
he
These
I-
was
are
I-
just
that
games
guy.
I've watched.
I'm
You've
not-
watched more than me.
I'm not
obviously.
saying he lacks being a leader because the team has said he's a great leader. I think
Oh, yeah,
he
I won't
lacks
say leader. Fire.
he lacks that
Passion.
fire.
That-
yeah,
yeah,
he
I
lacks
go
the
with that.
he
That
lacks the
Michael
voice.
Jordan killer instinct that
Yeah.
you need.
When
Yeah.
things are going bad, he's not a person that's going to pump everybody
You
back up
watch
or
a Tom
discipline
Brady or a
people.
Peyton Manning. we watched Peyton Manning yell at his own center. You
Mhm.
know, that's a fiery passion that I don't see in Dak.
I don't.
fe-
I
fe-
agree. I don't. There, it's not there.
I
I
s-
don't know why it's not there. With
Right.
He's
all
got
the,
the talent.
right.
with
He's
all
got
the
talent.
turmoil he's been through in his whole entire life by, losing his mom, losing his brother, like you would think that fire, that build is there
But
with
there's
him.
a part of me, and I could be totally wrong on this. These guys make so much money, and he knows no one's going to get his job. He goes out and does enough to win. I feel like he's content.
I don't
feel like-
think so. He's never changed.
know-
He's never changed since the day they took him.
I
he's-
know, but
he's
I feel
never had
like-
that fire.
But and that's why I feel like now he has no reason to try to get that. I feel like if a person feels like
No, I just think that's who Dak
I-
is.
yeah, I
He's
just don't think he
he's
has
just a
it.
reserved,
That could be-
conservative
Yeah,
guy.
I just don't think he.
But he needs to be the fire guy. Not only when things are going wrong, not just to point out people, even when he does. Look, I threw a pick there. I want to see him come off and being pissed off
Well, I think
and,
he,
and
yeah,
talking.
I think he beats himself up.
Yeah, but
and
I
I
just-
do. I
But
do
you
think
should do it with your offense. Like, get everybody out. I want to see you on the sideline being like, guys, what? We're 3 and out, 2 drives in a row. What the fuck
Yeah,
are we doing?
I
Let's do
was-
something.
I
I
here.
want to
watch-
see him break a laptop. I want to see him break a
Right.
tablet.
I
I wouldn't
was
care if he threw a
mad.
helmet at somebody.
I
No,
don't
I'm
care.
just kidding. Don't throw a
I-
helmet. at
Show
I
me
somebody.
was-
some kind of, and other than Mike McCarthy on the sideline.
I was upset.
We lost that game by a lot, guys. You see that on the big
I
screen?
was upset
Like,
with Burrow this past weekend because when he threw his picks after he went back to the side. I didn't see the fire in him that we saw last year in this game. I was I didn't like that. I feel like, man, and maybe everybody has their own ways of dealing with it. I don't know what the deal was with it, but I didn't see that in him this past Sunday.
I think
when
with
he-
your quarterback, you should have that. And
I do. And last year we did. We saw that with him. But this year, he just, in the game against Pittsburgh, I didn't see that fire. I didn't see that what we
I didn't see a
saw.
lot of focus out of Cincinnati.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't see a lot of focus. I didn't see a lot of things, and maybe it's because it's the first game of the season. And I think they needed that knockdown because I do think that a lot of them went in there too confident, too cocky. They needed to have that slap in the face and saying, "Hey, bud, you gotta go and play hard. You
Well, you
got
would
the
think
talent."
they would have that even losing the Super Bowl because that's pretty much what Burrow said. Burrow sometimes to me, and I think he still shows more fire than what Dak does when it comes to certain things. But you put him in an interview, you can't shut him the fuck up. He's the most arrogant, cocky human being in the world.
he's like Baker Mayfield.
But Sunday, he didn't I didn't get to watch the whole game because we were watching the Browns Panthers too. But
Browns whooped that Baker
Uh,
Mayfield ass.
that is not what
That is
happened.
Whoop
not-
that
That
ass.
is not what happened.
He lost.
That's not. He did lose.
He lost.
He did lose.
'Cause you're a
But
kicker.
the better
Told you he was going
quarterback was
to.
on the Panthers, and they not ain't the Browns.
Told you it was going. Well, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that.
You
Like,
would have 2-3 weeks ago when you said he was trash.
It's still
Trash. That's what you said. Trash. He's trash.
Inconsistent garbage.
No, you said trash.
trash, inconsistent trash garbage. But he did have me as a Browns fan on my heels in that second half. He started coming back. He started being Baker when Baker's consistent. That's what he looked like. And I was like, oh shit, if this Baker
I
shows
didn't
up,
think
we're in
McCaffrey
trouble.
looked very impressive either.
They
I
didn't.
don't
They
think
didn't.
they
They
used
didn't
him
use
right.
him.
I
I
think
think
they
he only
fucked up
had.
by not using him
I
right.
think he was like Zeke. He only had
Yeah.
like 8-10
Yeah.
carries. I have him in fantasy.
Why?
He screwed me over.
Why? Because we got up, and then they thought, oh, we got to put the ball in
I
Baker's
still won
hands.
though.
I had a phenomenal week in fantasy.
Yeah, but
Let's
you had
just throw that
200.
out
You had
there.
200-point games last year, and you didn't make the playoffs.
That's okay. I had a better team this year.
You starting out like the Cincinnati Bengals. You thought your offensive line was going to be great. It's not.
We started off great. I destroyed Aaron.
And
Aaron
I
talked
took
all
that-
this
and
shit.
I walked away Monday or Tuesday morning with the biggest smile because D's name is Beat King Mike.
Yeah, and he lost.
And he lost. He lost to King Mike because that's what happens when you face a king. I am the king until I'm dethroned. I am the champion. I am the best. I am LeBron James. I am Michael Jordan. I am Tom Brady. All in one. I am literally the best.
I just threw up in my mouth.
I can smell it.
I am literally God.
I won my game with 2 zeros.
Hey,
so
you know what? I don't
I'm
care
good.
if I win another game the rest of the year. Beating Aaron was the highlight.
You have to play him
because
again.
As long as
You
I
want to
beat
win
him,
2 games then.
as long as I beat him out, he talked so much shit that he was going to whip my ass, and he got destroyed.
What's
Hey,
up,
I
Mac
said
Daddy?
I said in that group chat, you guys saw it. I said, Aaron, you should be worried. That team's shitty. You got a shitty team.
Oh, I destroyed him.
Aaron's team is not good. It's not
It's
good.
Four of
not.
my players,
It's not.
3 of my players damn near beat him. Mahomes, Jefferson, and Mahomes, Kelsey, and Edwards-Helaire.
So we got 3 undefeated people sitting here. Anyways, what we got? So
let me ask you guys a question. I got a question before we get off this subject. I need to know what NFL team do you think performed the best all around the first week?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City.
What one team was
We're
the
never going to
worst?
say the Browns, just so you know.
Was the worst?
Well, team that was the worst. The only team in the National Football League last week that didn't score a touchdown. The Dallas Cowboys.
I was going to say Cincinnati.
I think Cincinnati outperformed Dallas. I actually say Dallas. Dallas was the worst looking team.
Dallas looked absolutely atrocious.
He said he thought the Vikings looked the best and Cowboys looked the
I mean, the Vikings looked
Well,
really good.
The
They
Vikings
did.
proved my point again. Once again, I'm going to push that narrative. The best receiver in football is Justin Jefferson.
I
It's
thought
not
you-
even close.
Oh, I thought you were going to say KJ Osborne.
It's not even. I don't care. It's not close. You guys can shit on me all you want. He's Devontae Adams. He's better than Tyreek Hill. He's better than Jamar Chase. He's better than Cooper Kupp. There's nobody in the league better than Justin Jefferson.
I don't know, man. Adams is hard to beat.
There's nobody in the league better than Justin Jefferson.
Adams is hard to beat, man.
He's. I'm not saying he's not good. Just like Cooper Kupp.
Well, I told him that if Michael Thomas hadn't missed time, I would put Michael above him. But because of time missed, I mean, Justin to me wasn't.
Justin's a great
He's
receiver.
just that good.
And now
I think what's going to hurt, and you said it in the group chat, I think what's going to hurt the Rams is Stafford forces that ball to Kupp.
once again,
all
though,
the
I think
time.
that is not playing preseason football. He has brand new weapons out there. And what do you have to do? Everybody, you go out buy a new. Here's just a philosophy I'll give to you guys. You go out and you buy a brand new car. What's the first thing you guys do in that brand new car?
Floor it.
What's the
D agrees with you at the Thomas point.
Yeah.
What's
yeah,
the first thing
Michael
you do
Thomas,
in that
yeah.
brand new car? Obviously, you drive the fucking thing home. But everybody in there is
I'm going
pushing
to go out there. I'm
fucking.
going to test
Oh,
it
you're
out.
testing-
People are pushing buttons trying to figure out what everything does because you like the gadgets that are
Well,
inside.
So
it.
my concern with the Rams as far as last year to this year, you don't have Odell, you don't have Woods. Who's your other guy besides Kupp?
They have Allen Robinson.
Right, but he's not.
He's not what? What do you want from him if
You
you're not
keep-
getting targets?
Yeah, I've heard you talk about him for years. About he's this. I don't think he's premier.
Well, then you might want to go
I think he's all
refresh
right.
your stats.
I think he's all right.
So I want to get your take on this.
I think the Rams are in trouble.
I don't think they're in trouble. Let's not overreact. But
I'm overreacting.
I think another big issue with Burrow. I was thinking about this.
We keep going back to Cincinnati.
going back to
What
Cincinnati.
is
yes,
this, Cincinnati?
I
What do you
wanna
want?
get-
Why don't you
I
let
wanna
us
get
move
your
forward
take
on
on
the
this.
other
fucking
team?
know.
What
What do
is
you want?
going on
You
here?
guys keep changing fucking ass. So
Oh,
I
all
got
right,
to
go
ask
ahead.
in the
Go
middle
ahead.
here.
All right, we got it.
I think a part of Burrow's problem is that he hears everybody say that Jamar Chase made him Jamar Chase. He isn't doing it without Jamar Chase. I think we're going to see him start forcing passes to other, and I think it was proven with the passes that he threw to Higgins, passes he threw.
Well,
I think he's going to try to prove a point that, hey, I don't need Jamar Chase to
I
be
don't
good.
think he's
Well,
listening
Jamar
to
Chase
that.
still
I
led in
don't.
catches and
That's-
reception.
but he
yards.
didn't start taking off until after the second half of the ball game.
Well, sometimes quarterbacks do need great receivers. That's just the
But-
point. of it.
Or Jamar was getting covered downfield and he wasn't as open, so he had to go to other receivers.
My thing is I like Joe Burrow a lot. I told you I love his moxie, but I don't think he has the capability of making another receiver. Joe's going to need a good receiver with him. I don't think he's able to make that receiver. That's just me.
No, I think he thrives off of what he has.
He thrive, yeah, exactly.
I think that's the quarterback he is. He's got Jamar, who's a premier receiver.
because before
and the other
Jamar,
guys
he
are really
wasn't
good.
electrifying anybody. I don't
No.
care what any of you say. Through 10 games, he had like 13 touchdown
No,
passes.
he wasn't.
He wasn't electrifying anybody. He didn't start really electrifying until he brought his pretty much, you can almost probably say they're best friends. He brought his boy over from LSU. He pushed to land that guy. They said that he was in the ear of the coaching staff that we need go get me Jamar Chase. And then, I mean, the rest is history. That's perfectly fucking
And it's
fine.
not a knock either,
No.
because Burrow is a really fucking good quarterback. I think he's that type of quarterback. He's not Aaron Rodgers where he's going to make, or Tom Brady where he can make a receiver look good. I think he just gets what he gets and he does what he does. But he has to have that guy. He has to have that Jamar Chase. He has to, because he's never going to make T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd into a Jamar Chase.
See now, I ran the stats with you, average per game, with what he had. If he would have finished out his rookie season, he had about 27, 28 touchdowns, maybe 10 picks, I think is what it came out to be. And he was still on pace to throw over 4,400 yards. That's not bad for a rookie. And that's not bad without having Jamar Chase.
But that's just going off what you hope.
No, that
that
was
was-
going off
right.
his average of what he was
Yeah.
doing in the games he played. I did a game average. I
But,
did,
Okay, statistically there, but watching games, he looked spotty in that rookie year. Like he didn't look like he did his second year. I mean, he didn't look extremely comfortable in Cincinnati his first year. There were some games that looked real rocky for him.
Could have that been rookie being a rookie?
It could have
Yes,
been.
it could have very well been.
It could have been.
But and it's not a knock on. It's
No,
not a knock.
I'm not
on-
knocking bro because I think bro's a fucking good quarterback. I just think he is what he is.
I just think there's quarterbacks that can do that, and we haven't seen a lot of them in our lifetime.
I don't think Herbert's the kind of quarterback that's going to make receivers. I think he's a Burrow. I think he is just that good. He needs that premier guy, and it's just going to help.
I mean, there's lots of quarterbacks in the league that have to have that.
Exactly.
I mean,
I
it's
think
not a knock
yeah,
on their greatness.
It's not knocking. You're
it's-
still a great quarterback. You're not the guy who's going to be a Tom Brady or a Drew Brees who make household names out of receivers that are nobodies. They have that ability.
I don't even know if Peyton Manning did. Well, we
He
can't say he
didn't.
didn't because he had Reggie Wayne and
And
he had Marvin Harrison.
Now I will say the stats went up for Denver when he went over there because he gets handed Julius Thomas and
Julius
Demaryius
Thomas left there and didn't do nothing when he left Denver.
right. And,
Right.
But he
he went
know,
to Jacksonville. With
Didn't do
shit.
shit.
and we looked at Demaryius Thomas's numbers went up dramatically. So you could say Demarius's career took off more when he had a premier quarterback.
Which
But
always,
but
that always
right.
helps receivers.
But I won't say that Peyton made anybody because he's pretty much been catered. I mean, by the guys he's had in his life. So I won't say that. Drew Brees, who the fuck is Marquise Colston? Nobody. Nobody if he's not on that Saints team.
Well, fucking Michael Thomas ain't been nothing since
Well, you
Drew
can't-
Brees
you
left, but
can't-
he was
Well, he's
hurt.
been
though.
injured.
But
He's
you
an
can't
injured.
fault. You can't fault.
No, I'm not
Peyton
faulting anybody.
Manning.
I'm not faulting
Not-
anybody. What I'm
That he
saying
got
is,
blessed with.
I'm
some
saying
decent
I just
receivers.
don't think that Peyton is a guy who makes a name because he's had Anthony Gonzalez. He wasn't nobody. Even with Peyton, he wasn't nobody.
He didn't really need him though.
But he had him in the slot. He didn't make a name for him. You have because you're blessed with two fucking great Hall of Fame receivers. And then you go to Denver. Yes, it does help out. But Demaryius Thomas was not a bad receiver before
Well, I
he
mean,
got
Peyton
there.
Manning was a bit blessed with every team he played for.
He was. He
I
was.
mean, he literally was gifted with just about every good running back you could have in freaking
I mean,
Indianapolis.
Jesus Christ. You just got a guy elected in the Hall of Fame a year ago, Edgerrin James.
I mean,
I mean,
he was
goddamn.
blessed with that. I think
Peyton-
Aaron
Peyton
Rodgers has
is-
the most capability of making great receivers. I think Tom Brady has that same factor.
Like I said, Breeze does. He did.
Drew
over
Brees
in-
made a
over
lot
New
other than
Orleans.
Joe Horn, and I mean he's good, but like you said, who's Marquise Colston? Who's fuck? I can't even remember half the receivers
Dante
in there. And he was,
Stalwart was not a great
and he was
receiver.
still throwing. What's he
until
have?
Brees
Fucking
came.
7 5,000-yard seasons and
five
yeah.
5,000 yard seasons with him. Yeah,
and you're
with
just sit back
nobodies.
like how and why? How'd you do it? It's
Yeah, not everybody can make a receiver, but like I said, once again, it's not a
Let's
knock
make his
on
presence known.
you mind?
you. You better get him out of here. He'll yell at you because you're not helping him get the dog out. Remember, he
Anyways,
gets mad about
so
that.
once we go into this, we got one more topic I want to get on. It's gonna be quick and easy. I want to know what you guys feel or how you guys feel after 2 weeks of college football. Now, is there any teams?
I'm not impressed with Ohio State at all right now.
Okay.
I'm not.
Is there any teams that you guys thought was going to be high hopes, locks to be in a championship to now sitting back going, well,
Yes, D, I think he does.
I actually thought Notre Dame was going to be a lot better than they played. I really did.
First year
think
coach, I don't know.
Notre Dame was going to be.
well, I
in
didn't
it.
expect them to lose to Marshall. I'll tell you
No,
that much.
no.
I mean, they did lose their quarterback
They
that
did.
game, but I did not
did.
expect them to
I thought
didn't
Notre
expect
Dame would be in it. I thought
Texas
they'd see
A&M to
them.
lose to Appalachian State either. So
No.
I don't think Alabama is going to be quite as good as what they have been in the past.
now that's what I wanted to ask you guys. Now I don't know if we didn't get to really watch every second because congratulations to my sister. She got married to Drake Fugit. So we didn't get to watch a lot of college football on Saturday because
The Mike was drunk.
we were all busy at a wedding and I got turned up. But I want to know, do you think Nick Saban rights that ship, which they'd still won? You know, was it Alabama played bad or what is it? Texas is a bit underrated, even though Quinn Ewers is out for a few weeks. Do you think Texas is a little better than what people thought they were going to be?
Yeah, I think so.
Or was it just Alabama maybe not as good as what people think they're going to be?
I just think Texas played them tough. I mean, they were ranked um,
I believe they were nationally ranked.
they're ranked 21st now. I don't know what they were ranked going in the game. They just played them tough. It was just a tough game. Sometimes you have games like that. They're tough. I think it'd be an overreaction to think that Texas is more than what they were billed. I think it's an overreaction to say, "Wow, Alabama's slipping." It's just one of them games. You just played a tough game. If I see another one on the schedule, then I'll get concerned. But as of right now, I feel it's just a tough game.
So you
Just-
still
just a
are you
school
still
played 'em tough.
favoring Nick Saban and the Tide to win it all?
Oh yeah, I am. They're still number one to me.
What's your thoughts? I think so too. I really after week one, I'm still very, very, very impressed with Georgia. Georgia's still they're still a team to
Georgia's
be
my number
that-
2.
They could be right there.
Yeah.
You know, I know they're ranked number 1 now. What's your guys' thought on Ohio State?
I'm not impressed right now.
I'm right there with you. I am not. I've slowly become a CJ Stroud believer. But sometimes he makes me feel like Justin Fields. And I know you guys are gonna be like, oh well, Justin Fields is a starting quarterback in the NFL. Yes, I get that. I'm not saying CJ Stroud won't be a starting quarterback in the NFL or isn't a great quarterback in college, because obviously he's a Heisman favorite. I just think for some odd reason, he seems to struggle more often than not. Like he went out and just beat up on Arkansas State,
Well-
but he struggled in the first half. He wasn't great looking in the first
Well, if
half,
you
other
look
than
at-
Marvin Harrison Jr.
You look at the last year, Ohio State seemed to struggle at the beginning of the season. They slowly got together. And then they were always, for some reason last year, were a second half team. It's like the first half, they kind of came out, started kind of slow. And the second half, they just exploded.
But you
is
know,
what it
I'm
seemed like
tired.
last
I'm
year.
tired of seeing that. You know what I mean? Nothing. No, it's no knock on Stroud. It isn't, because I think he's got the capability of even winning a Heisman. Even though I never wish a Heisman on a quarterback, because more often than not, they never have a great college or a pro career. I want to see. And I'm not saying he's even inconsistent. I don't even know what it is about Stroud that just watching him with my own eyes, sometimes he's just fucking frustrating. Like, then you have games where he goes out and you're like, well, that's why he's the starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes. You know, we seen a lot of it last year, and everybody said, well, it's because of his shoulder injury. I don't believe that. I believe maybe his shoulder was a little sore. I don't believe that's why he was playing bad. Because he's pretty much doing the same thing. Yes, now our 2-5 game week 1 doesn't even look good because Notre Dame lost to Marshall. So that is like almost, you might as well throw that out the window. Like, we just played 2 bad teams in a row, and he has 6 touchdowns, no picks, I think it is. But I mean, coincidentally, we haven't played nobody, and yet he's struggling. You would expect, okay, if everybody, because a lot of people said Notre Dame was overrated by far. They should have never been a top 5 team. They shouldn't have been a top 25 team, is how people felt, right? So if that's how they felt, he struggled mightily against them. Then you go out in Arkansas State. Who the fuck is Arkansas State? You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck is that? And you only have 6 touchdown passes through 2 games when legitimately Marshall beat the shit out of Notre Dame. It's like, and it really starts with the running back was there both
No,
games.
Ohio State's number 2, isn't they?
Number 3.
Number 3?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Alabama dropped to number 2.
Yeah. So I would, and I'm gonna say it proudly. Michigan got to jump up a couple spots. Michigan has looked more impressive than Ohio State, and they've ran out 2 quarterbacks in the first 2 games.
So I was going to say, I was waiting for you to get done. I think we need to be talking about Michigan more than anything. They're averaging 251 yards of rushing a game. And I understand.
They also haven't played anybody.
They didn't play
either.
nobody.
Yes.
And the thing is, what's sneaky about this is how they could possibly move up in ranks. The next 4 games they got are nobody's. So they can just destroy the first 6 games of their season. And it's going to put them in a good position. They don't really play anybody until their 7th week. And then they think they're facing Penn State, who is ranked at the
Phone's
moment.
gonna die.
But I
24.
I think Michigan, and I know they haven't played nobody, but they're looking pretty good how they should.
Right.
Exactly how you should be playing those teams, how we should have played Arkansas State. That's exactly how Michigan has played Hawaii, and who is the other one? Connecticut. So I'm worried about Ohio State. Is it all just Stroud? Is it coaching? Is it Day? Is he to blame for some of this? We, like you said, the running game's there for us. It is there.
The defense has played well. Secondary is a bit
Secondary shaky,
but
but is this all on Stroud, or does Ryan Day need to take some blame?
I think Ryan Day has to take some blame, but at the same time, I think so does Stroud. Stroud has to play better. And it's not that he's playing. It's so hard to understand because you can't look at a quarterback and say, most people look at it and be like, well, I mean, he isn't making the mistakes. Yes, he's made a few bad reads. Yes, he's looked a little shaky. But my thing is I would accept that if it was an NFL schedule. You know what I'm saying? But they went in playing pretty much two shitty teams, and he was mediocre as fuck.
Well, like you said, last year they're a second half team. Well, like we talked about, you can't do that against the way Michigan's playing. You can't do that against Alabama. You can't do that against Georgia.
No, if we'd
You're
have
gonna
played
get
any
destroyed.
of them guys, we'd have been annihilated.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have been able to stay.
Because they're not second half teams. They're 4-quarter teams. You need to be a 4-quarter team. You can't play these big boys and think, hey, it's so cool. We'll get it in the second half. Because by then you're going to have a 17-point deficit you got to overcome. And
You've seen it last year when we played Alabama. Well, I should say 2 years ago when we played Alabama when they came out and just destroyed us.
Out of us.
But anyways, we're gonna wrap this up tonight.
First pick.
Our first show back, fully staffed. Like we said, we couldn't get to agree on terms with Drew on a new contract, so Drew ultimately had to move elsewhere. That's no knock on him. It's not that we didn't want him back. He's just got a busy life. So he will be a guest from time to time. But anyways, I'm Mike Ash.
Big country.
I'm Jack.
Hey, and this is all we got.
Jeez.